Bobkast here at the Kokomo Post Sports. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, and the Kokomo Bobkats just kicked off the 2024 campaign with a bang, a 111-109 win to start the season. And here with us today to start this new season with the Bobcast is the Kokomo Bobkats head coach, Mr. Chandler Levinston-Simon, and then Big Fudge, as they call him, Marcus Fuggins. Coach, congratulations. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
You as well. I'm happy to be here too. And then assistant coach to my right, Mr. Comedian, Big Fudge. I want to make sure I call you Big Fudge. I don't want to say Fudge because people might think you're a player.
You can really tell the difference between us. I'm the bigger one, and he's got really long hair. So that's a clear difference between both of us. There
is a clear difference. You might actually challenge him in practice and things like that, and try to beat him in one-on-one.
Battle for the name.
Yeah, you could.
We could. No, I don't know about that. My knees don't work like they used to. But, you know, he got this man. They call him Fudge, but I'll still be Big Fudge.
Chandler, that game on Sunday was fun. It was loud, pulling out a win. Your first game as a head coach, how did that feel?
I mean, it was a good time. We lying to say I wasn't a little bit nervous, at moments. But, I had faith in my team.
We talked to you at Media Day. You said there was no nerves leading up to that game. Did that change on game day a few hours before tip-off?
No, I mean, more so just in that moment.
Yeah.
Just, a little bit like, okay, my right decisions, different things like that. A lot of things come to my mind. But, it ended up working out for us. End of the day, I knew it was going to, come down to that last 2 minutes, but I was hoping it wouldn't.
We'll get back to that here in a second. Big Fudge, you as an assistant coach, first time coaching, professional as you said. How did that feel being on that bench throughout that game, being a coach right now?
It was different. There's a lot of times, like even Chandler will tell you, like there's times where he'll be talking and I'll be on the player's side and he'll tell me like, hey, you're not with them. You over here. Like, come on. And so being in a different position when it comes to basketball, especially in this setting, after playing in this league for about 2 years. So it's really different for me, but it's always exciting. It's fun.
Those nerves that we talked about, he talked about them during the game as far as a little bit towards the end, a little bit nerves. Did you have nerves at this point in time when you were leading into being the coach right now?
No.
You stuttered a little bit.
So here's why. I didn't have nerves. It was that, man, I wish I could play right now.
Yeah.
That's what it was for me. So like I still have that fight to want to play, but at the same time I'm like, okay, you know what? This ain't my time. This is there.
At the end of the game and even throughout portions, they team could have probably used the size that you possess, rebounding and things like that. Especially late in that game, I do think we're going to get to that last play, but I do think at the end, a big guy down low, 6'8", 6, I don't know how tall you are, but would have been very, very helpful at that last play. But great defense really got that win. Going in that timeout before that play, what were you saying to the team before ultimately got a steal, last-second buzzer beater to win the game?
I told guys if we have to, we're going to switch and, because we had a lot of like size out there, basically just stay in front, stay in the gaps, and they'll give you the ball. And sure enough, they did.
Did you expect Payne to go one-on-one? Because he ended up having the ball and then passed it off. And then I forget the number and the player that had it.
11.
11 had the ball. Yeah. He went one-on-one and then drove into the paint. And I believe it was Johnny Griffin Jr. was there and led him into one of his teammates went the other way. But were you expecting one-on-one on that last play?
To some degree. I figured there's going to be something along those lines, more of a ball screen coming into that, maybe a 2-on-2 type situation. Yeah. But I knew at the end of the day it was going to go to probably one of their better players. So it was either 22 or 11.
And that's what happened. I love the scene at the end of the game, seeing all the fans, seeing the players really celebrate that big moment. You weren't on the team last year, but I'm sure you may have heard some stories from that game against the Griffins to end the season. You were here last year. Mm-hmm. You saw that. You remember that moment, those emotions. Did you get a sense of relief getting that win over the Griffins? Week one, I'm used to football. Game number one?
That was one that I wanted probably more than, I won't say I want more than others, but it's an important one because, it's the first game as a team, first one as a unit, first one for me. It's a lot of firsts for a lot of guys. So, to set the tone for the rest of the season, it's an important one.
What players in your eyes stood out in this win?
Well, Fudge definitely, stepped up to the occasion. He weighed 19-8.
Yeah.
Played big. I mean, he started at our 5. So, I mean, I'll give him a big shout out for them for that. Larry Plummer did a great job of controlling the pace for us. Got some big shots from Trey Mitchell. I mean, everybody basically played their role.
They did play their role. For you in this role this year, as game 1 is done, there's 3 games this week, and then the rest of the season is underway. Do you ever think that you're going to lose track of being the coach and want to actually go to the scores table to try to check in and play?
The feeling could be there. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I have faith in the guys that we have. I know Chandler does too. So I mean, you mentioned the size earlier. We have a lot of size.
Yes.
So I have confidence that they know how to move their feet, they know how to use their body, they know how to use their presence, and do what needs to be done to get the win.
I believe that too. One thing that I love about this team is how they're involved with the community. I don't believe you've played for the Bobkats before.
No.
Was it like this on other teams you played for in the TBL?
Other teams, we went to schools. We did. We showed up at different venues for food, and I think if I remember right, we had a bingo night one time at a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
We've done things within the community. We've done things like that, but I've yet to experience what the Bobcats do. But I'm excited to be a part of it, though.
How was that home experience for you on Sunday? I know people say I've heard other people say like the Bobcats fans are different. They're excited. They're loud. Was that a different experience? Because I've only been to TBL games here. I've never been to any other city, any other game at all. So how does this compare to places you've been?
I've been to some places where the fans did not care who you were. They was going to tell you what was on their mind. Because they're not a part of this team. Ain't no penalty for them. They're going to kick out anyways. But I've been on another team where everybody was much older, so they were much more calm, collective, and they gave mutual respect for everybody. But being here over at Kokomo, it was like 3 or 4 people that came to me was like, "You look really familiar." I was like, I'm pretty sure you don't know me. And they was like, did you play with us last year? I was like, ma'am, if you had to ask me if I played on the team last year, you definitely don't remember me. I played against you. She said, "Oh, okay. Are you playing now?" "No, I'm coaching." Oh, okay. And then she just walked away, and I was like, "Oh, okay." No, but the fans here are great from the first game that I've seen in comparison to the other 2.
I believe the fans here are fun. That's one thing that drew me to Kokomo when I moved here was the Bobcats. Your dad was coaching last time, but it was the fans, the crowd, the players, even coaches, assistant coaches. Everybody had a passion for basketball. Did your dad reach out to you after that win on Sunday?
Yeah. So he sent me a text, good substitution.
Spoken like a daddy.
Yeah.
There we go. One thing. It's only one thing. Hey, man, good job. Man. Good job doing that. All right,
that was initially what he sent me, and then we talked a little bit later, had a whole conversation about everything. He was, breaking everything down, different things and different situations and stuff. He's like, well, good job.
He sounded like he's still coaching you. It's not like he's a dad. It was like, hey, I'm breaking stuff down. This is what could change. Here's what could actually happen. He's not coaching the team anymore, but it sounds like he's still coaching you right now in this role.
Yeah, to some degree. He's been one of my first coaches, so he's always there for me and anything that I need in terms of guidance or anything along those lines.
This week, I saw that you guys are playing 3 games. One against Glass City, actually at Glass City, one at Pontiac, and then back home on Sunday.
Yes.
Against Madera, the Timberjacks. What's your preparation like right now, at least at this point in the week, leading up to a 3-game stretch?
It's a little tough because we got a short week too.
Yeah.
So a lot of it was just focusing on us today, and then tomorrow we'll probably break out some scout stuff for these next 2 games, and then I'll have a couple of things for Saturday as well.
It's got to be difficult trying to prepare for 3 games at one point in time like this.
Yeah, I mean, main thing is I just take it one day at a time and one team at a time. Really, you got to just. And also too, it helps that I have assistants.
Yeah.
So I mean, I have about 3-4 assistants that are really great, and they just they show up for me.
What was it like? I know you played as well, but I'm going to go back to you for this one. What was it like when you had those 3-game stretches where you have a short week, where you're trying to prepare for 3 games in a short period of time? You don't have much time to rest and repair from the previous one.
It's so tiring.
Yeah.
It's tiring. Having to play back-to-back is already tiring in itself, but to have kind of a full day, knowing you still have to do the shoot around and stuff like that, prepare for the next game, to play a game that's shorter, but earlier in the day, it's tiring.
Yeah.
So we tell the guys, take care of your body, do the treatments, do what needs to be done, so you don't have to worry about any type of injuries like that. But it's tired. Oh my God.
You sound tired as you say it right now.
It's a little flashback, man. Chandler, do you remember times like you just
Oh yeah. I mean,
sleep all day?
So what was it? We did 3 and 3 nights. We had two of those. Was it 2 years ago? Man, that was hectic.
Yeah, we did that with Lebanon too.
Yeah. So I mean, those 3 and 3 nights were something else. And then one thing I definitely learned was don't get mad about your playing time.
Yeah.
During those 3 and 3 nights, take your 20-something minutes and just be happy you got that. Because you're gonna play another 20-something minutes the next night, and then the night after that. So oh man, I want to play 30-something, 40. No, you don't.
Chill
you
out,
don't.
Playboy.
You don't. In your mind, it sounds good in your mind until it doesn't.
But how do you handle players that want to play all the time, but you realize you got to shorten the minutes and maybe extend the rotation to keep everybody's legs fresh for the rest of the week?
I mean, I've said it in practice before, and I'll reiterate it throughout times, but also, guys kind of just, there's momentary lapses until oh man, okay, I see what he was talking about. I'm talking about you say something and like it'll come back a couple days later and ooh, okay, yeah.
That lower back and them knees get to hurting. It'll be over. It'll be over. You get the wilding back to the bus, it's over.
Get the ice, maybe an ice bath. I've never done an ice bath. They do not sound pleasant at all, but in those moments you might need it.
I'd be lucky to fit in a bath. I'd be lucky to fit in a bath.
This turned into comedy out real quick.
Nah, no, because the last time you was able to sit down in a bath and just chill out. Exactly. I was 12 years old. But these guys are lucky, man. They have the resources to like the training staff that we have.
Yeah.
They have the resources. They can get better. They can heal faster. So they're blessed. We're blessed, and we're just ready for these games.
Chandler, in these close games like you guys had on Sunday, you mentioned nerves. I know the nerves of the players may have been there as well. Or was the team confident in that final timeout going into that final stretch, which ultimately turned into one of the biggest plays of the day?
I mean, the main thing was I knew we were going to get the initial stop. Whether they got the offensive rebound or something along those lines, I was unsure of.
Okay.
So, because, I mean, we were a little smaller. I do have faith in Johnny and Fudge and, everybody, kind of, I guess, gang rebounding is what they call it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, too, there was moments where I was like, But, they didn't even come to that. I'm happy that, it didn't even come to that. And then, Trey kind of got out and got that layup.
Dude, I was not – I recorded that shot. I didn't know if it got off in time. And I know that it did. I went back and saw it. I was like, oh, okay, like there's time there. But in the moment, I'm like, there's no way. There's no way he got that. And I'm sure you guys or maybe players are like, did he get it? Did he get not? But everybody reacted like it went in. So I'm just like, okay, cool. Like let's just roll with it.
I was ready to argue. It was in.
No, I already knew. I knew he got it off. I thought it was going to come off the back rim. That's what I was more worried about because he was going full speed. That I thought I was going to come back rim and just come off the front and just.
They just handled business in overtime.
Yeah.
By the grace of God, that boy got up and let that ball in the hole.
Last thing, Big Fudge and Chandler, for both of you, start with Big Fudge here first. What are you looking forward to most about this stretch over the next 3 games to learn about the team, but also yourself as a coach?
My IQ. I'm excited to test my IQ out when it comes to substitutions and helping Chandler out with different play schemes and just initially going through this three game and it was 3 and
4 nights.
Yeah, 3-game, 4-night journey. Because I've experienced it as a player. I know how bad that is, but as a coach, I don't know. So this is brand new territory for me.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what happens, and whatever happens, I'll take it with a grain of salt. Move on with the next one.
What are you looking forward to most over this next 3-game stretch?
Just kind of I want to say like more or less the chess match within the game that happens, and the adjustments and different things that has to happen, and then also too because it's 3 different opponents with 3 different styles. So I kind of can see more or less where we match up well, where we don't, because we played against the Griffins, who are a scrappy team. From what I've seen, Pontiac is similar but a little different.
Okay.
Toledo, or Glass City, they slow the ball down a little bit more. And then Medora, they got a bunch of weapons that we got to figure out.
That's a strong team right there.
Yeah. So, I'm more or less just curious to see how that's all going to, shake out. And I want to see, how I can come up with something, my staff can, and find a way to stop it.
I appreciate Chandler for coming on the show with Big Fudge as well. No relation to Fudge Moore, who is a player on the Bobkats. This has been the Bobkast. We'll see you next time.